There are places on this planet that feel larger than life, places where history breathes through every stone, where landscapes stretch beyond the limits of imagination, and where culture has carved a legacy so deep that the world cannot look away. And among all those places stands one name whispered with a sense of awe. Russia, the land of vastness, resilience, and mystery. But what makes Russia truly great? It is not just the chronicles of empires, nor the grand works of literature that have shaped generations. It is not simply the proud melodies, the iconic artists, or the monumental victories that echo through its past. Russia is called great because its very existence feels like something beyond ordinary measure. Imagine a nation so large that it spans 11 time zones, where sunrise and sunset never agree on the same moment. Imagine a land so enormous that it covers 1/10 of the Earth's surface, touching both Europe and Asia, stretching into the Arctic, and reaching toward the Pacific. A place where frozen wilderness meets endless forests, where majestic mountains rise above ancient rivers, and where humanity seems small next to the sheer force of nature. Russia is not just big, it is breathtaking. And yet, behind this immense geography lies something even more fascinating. Stories of kings, explorers, soldiers, poets, stories of courage, survival, and unbreakable identity. In this video, we will travel through Russia the way very few people ever do, from its geography, to its wildlife, to its history, to the cultural soul that shaped millions of lives. You will see why its mountains became legends, why its lakes became treasures, why its cities became symbols, and why its people are known for enduring what others cannot. And, at the end of this journey, we will touch on something unexpectedly powerful, a symbol recognized everywhere in the world: vodka. Not as a stereotype, but as a story of tradition, chemistry, resilience, and a culture shaped over centuries. So before we continue, take a breath. Let the curiosity rise, because the deeper we go, the more you will understand why Russia is not only a country, but a feeling vast, mysterious, unshakable. A reminder that some places are simply built on a different scale. Before we move deeper into this journey across the vast land of Russia, I want to pause for a moment and turn to you, the ones traveling alongside this story. If you're feeling the same curiosity, the same sense of wonder about this incredible nation, let me know. Drop a comment, share what surprised you the most, or tell me what part of Russia you want to discover next. Your thoughts help this channel grow, and they help me bring you even more stories like this. And if you're enjoying the journey so far, don't forget to subscribe, turn on the bell, and share this video to support the channel. Alright, now, let's step into the next chapter where Russia's sheer size and natural power begin to reveal their true meaning. When we talk about Russia being great, it's not just a poetic phrase, it is a literal truth, a scale so immense that it almost feels unreal. Imagine a country so large that its landmass, 17.1 million square kilometers, is bigger than the dwarf planet Pluto, a nation that covers 1/10 of the entire land surface of Earth, stretching farther than the eye or imagination can follow. Yet despite this staggering size, Russia is surprisingly quiet in population density. 146 million people scattered across an ocean of forests, tundra, mountains, rivers, and frozen wilderness. There are places in Russia where you could travel hundreds of kilometers without seeing a single town, and other places where human footprints barely exist at all. And then comes the detail that always makes people pause. Russia spans 11 time zones, 11. While one part of the country is waking up to the first light of dawn, another part is already deep into the night. Very few nations in history have ever commanded such a vast, continuous territory, a land that bridges two continents, connecting both Europe and Asia in one sweeping arc. Its borders touch 14 different countries, from Norway and Finland in the Arctic north, to the Baltic nations along the Cold Sea, to Belarus and Ukraine on the European side, and stretching across Central Asia into Kazakhstan, then further east to Mongolia, China, and even North Korea. Russia doesn't just sit on the map, it surrounds, influences, and intertwines with the geography of an entire hemisphere. And as if land alone weren't enough, Russia also possesses one of the longest combined coastlines on Earth, 37,600 kilometers across three mighty oceans, the Atlantic, the Pacific, and the icy Arctic. This gives Russia access to trade routes, natural resources, and strategic waterways that most nations could only dream of. When you stand back and try to take all of this in, you begin to understand why Russia captivates the world. It is not simply a country, it is a continent in itself. A realm so vast that every region feels like a different world, each carrying its own climate, its own landscape, and its own untold stories waiting to be explored. When people speak about Russia's greatness, they often mention history or culture. But the truth is, Russia's natural geography alone is enough to leave anyone silent. This is a land shaped by extremes, mountains that scrape the sky, rivers that carve continents, and wilderness so vast it feels endless. Let's begin with a giant that towers above all of Europe. Mount Elbrus, rising 5,642 meters into the clouds. It is the highest peak on the continent, a snow-covered titan that challenges even the most experienced climbers. Standing before Elbrus, you feel small not because you are weak, but because nature here reveals its true scale. And the mountain does not just represent height. It represents endurance, a symbol of the raw, untamed spirit that runs through the heart of Russia. Then, flowing like a silver ribbon through the west, there is the Volga River, stretching more than 3,530 kilometers, the longest river in Europe. For centuries, the Volga has been the lifeline of the nation, a place where cities were born, where culture grew, and where the story of Russia found its shape. Its waters travel all the way to the Caspian Sea, carrying history across every bend, whispering tales of trade, migration, and human resilience. But perhaps nothing defines Russia's natural world more powerfully than Lake Baikal. Baikal is not just a lake, it is a world, the deepest lake on Earth, and the largest reservoir of liquid fresh water ever discovered. It holds 1/5 of all unfrozen freshwater on the planet, a volume so enormous that it surpasses the water of all the Great Lakes of North America combined. Look into its crystal blue depth and you feel as if you are looking into the Earth's own ancient memory, a place older than empires, untouched by time. Stretching like a spine across the map is the Ural Mountains, a rugged chain more than 2,000 kilometers long. These mountains are the natural border between Europe and Asia, a reminder that Russia does not belong to one continent, it belongs to both. Here, rock and history blend into one line that has shaped civilizations for centuries. And then there is Siberia, the great, silent wilderness, a region so vast it covers 3/4 of Russian territory, a land of frozen winters, endless forests, and solitude so deep it almost feels sacred. Few people live here, but those who do carry a strength shaped by icy winds and unyielding earth. Russia's geography is not just impressive, it is overwhelming, humbling, and unforgettable. A natural masterpiece that reshapes everything you think you know about the world. When you look at a map, Russia appears enormous, but you only truly understand its greatness when you step into its wilderness. Because Russia is not just a country, it is a world of ecosystems layered on top of each other, a place where nature breathes with a power that feels ancient and untouched. Imagine a land with more than 100,000 rivers, each carving its own silent path through forests, plains, and icy tundra. Some are gentle like silver threads, some are wild torrents cutting through mountains. Together, they form a network so vast that it feels like the veins of the earth itself. Beside the rivers lie countless lakes, from small shimmering mirrors hiding between hills to giants like Baikal that seem almost supernatural. Here, the water is so pure, so deep, and so quiet that you feel time slowing down around you. Russia's nature shifts as dramatically as its seasons. In one direction, you find endless taiga stretching farther than the eye can see, a kingdom of pine, spruce, and silence. In another direction, you step into the steppes, golden fields dancing with the wind, whispering stories of ancient nomads. Move north, and suddenly the world freezes into the Arctic, a realm of snow, ice, and fierce beauty. Move south, and wetlands appear thick, humid, mysterious, full of hidden life waiting beneath the reeds. This immense and shifting wilderness is home to some of the world's most extraordinary animals. The Siberian tiger, powerful and rare, walking like a shadow through the eastern forests. The polar bear, king of the Arctic, roaming across frozen seas with quiet strength. And high in the cold mountains, the snow leopard, a creature so elusive that many people never see it even once in their lifetime. Together, they form the living heartbeat of Russia's wild lands, a reminder that true beauty often thrives in places untouched by human noise. And then, there is the tree that symbolizes the soul of Russia, the birch tree, tall, slender, dressed in white like a quiet poem. Its image appears in Russian songs, paintings, stories, because the birch is more than a plant. It is a memory, a cultural anchor, a gentle presence that has watched over villages for centuries. Russia's nature is not soft or safe. It is raw, breathtaking, unpredictable, and that is exactly why it inspires such deep emotion. To witness it is to feel something awaken inside you, a sense of wonder, and a respect for the vastness of our world. To understand Russia today, you must travel back, far back, to a land of forests, rivers, and empty horizons, where the first human settlements did not appear until about 500 years after the birth of Christ. Compared to other ancient civilizations, Russia's human history began late, yet what emerged from that emptiness would one day shape the world. In those early centuries, wandering Scandinavian explorers sailed down the northern rivers, while Slavic tribes moved westward from the forests. They met, lived together, mixed traditions, and slowly built communities. From this unlikely union rose something powerful and entirely new. The state known as Kievan Rus, a rising kingdom that would become the spiritual ancestor of modern Russia, Ukraine, and Belarus. But history rarely moves in a straight line. In the 13th century, a storm came from the east. The Mongol Empire, unstoppable and fierce, sweeping across the plains and conquering vast territories. Cities burned, kingdoms collapsed, and countless people fled northward to a small, quiet settlement called Moscow. No one knew it then, but that refuge would grow into the heart of an empire. Century after century, Moscow absorbed power, influence, and culture until Russia stood ready for a leader unlike any before, Peter the Great. When Peter rose to the throne in the late 17th century, Russia was vast, but isolated, strong, but outdated. He refused to accept that fate. He traveled across Europe, studied new technologies, naval power, architecture, and science, then returned home determined to transform his country. Under Peter, Russia built a navy, opened ports, modernized its military, and created the grand city of St. Petersburg, a window from Russia to the world. It was the beginning of Russia's evolution into a major global power. The centuries that followed were filled with struggles, victories, and reinventions. From the Napoleonic Wars, to the rise of the Tsars, to the monumental conflicts of the World Wars, and eventually the birth of the Soviet Union, a superpower that reshaped global politics for nearly a century. And today, the legacy of those eras still echoes across Russia, in its cities, its people, and its deep cultural identity. A history carved not only by kings and wars, but by resilience, reinvention, and an enduring belief that Russia was destined to be something great. When people speak of Russia's greatness, they often mention its geography, its culture, its history, but there is another force, quieter yet equally powerful, shaping the identity of this enormous nation, its economy, and the treasures hidden beneath its soil. Today, Russia stands among the top 10 largest economies on Earth, a position earned not only through industry and technology, but through a natural wealth that is almost unmatched. Beneath the icy tundra and endless forests lie some of the world's most abundant reserves of natural gas, vast oceans of oil, mountains of gold, and essential metals that fuel industries across continents. In many regions, entire cities grew from the ground up because of the minerals that sleep below them. And when the snow melts and the fertile soil awakens, another side of Russia reveals itself, the agricultural heartland. Here, golden fields of grain, far-stretching plantations of sugar beet, and endless rows of sunflowers feed millions within and beyond the nation's borders. Fruit farms, cattle ranches, and dairy production add to a food system shaped by both tradition and resilience. But the spirit of Russia is not carried only in its land, it is also carried in its symbols. And no symbol is more recognizable than the Russian flag. 3 simple stripes of white, blue, and red. White for dignity and honesty, blue for loyalty and faith, red for courage, generosity, and the lifeblood of its history. A flag born centuries ago, raised, lowered, then reborn again, as the identity of a modern nation. Russia's diversity, too, is a power of its own. Across this enormous land live around 120 ethnic groups, speaking over 100 languages, from the Arctic Circle to the borders of Europe and Asia. Yet among them all, one language echoes the strongest: Russian, a language that does not merely describe the world, but paints it with deep emotion, poetry, and a unique rhythm. It is one of the top 10 most spoken languages on Earth, and the second most used on the internet after English, a digital testament to its global influence. The economy, the land, the colors of the flag, the voices of 100 nations, all weave together into the identity of Russia, a place where natural power meets cultural depth, and where every symbol tells a story of strength, endurance, and a presence felt far beyond its borders. There are places on Earth that feel almost unreal, locations so extreme, so vast, or so ingeniously built, that they seem to belong to another world. Russia is full of such places. Here, nature and human ambition collide to create records that very few countries could ever imagine. Begin with Oymyakon, a small, lonely settlement deep in Siberia, yet known worldwide as the coldest inhabited place on the planet. Temperatures there once plunged to 77.8 degrees Celsius, a level of cold so intense that car engines freeze solid, metal becomes brittle, and your breath crystallizes the moment it leaves your lips. And yet, people live there, raise families there, and call that frozen world home, only in Russia. Now travel thousands of kilometers westward, and you'll meet another giant, the Trans-Siberian Railway, stretching 9,289 kilometers across forests, mountains, rivers, and 8 different time zones. It is the longest railway line on Earth, a steel spine that binds the entire nation together. To ride it from end to end takes about a week, even without delays, a journey many travelers describe as one of the most breathtaking experiences of their lives. Then comes the Kremlin in Moscow, not just a political center, but the largest active medieval fortress in the world. Its walls run 2.5 kilometers, surrounding palaces, cathedrals, towers, and centuries of history. It is a place where the past still breathes, where power, art, and architecture merge into one unmistakable symbol of Russia. Head north to St. Petersburg, and you step into a city of bridges, a city where water cuts through streets, and elegant arch bridges connect neighborhoods like threads of silk. While Venice is famous for its charm, St. Petersburg quietly holds a staggering record, more than 1,000 bridges, making it one of the most interconnected urban landscapes on Earth. And deep underground and across frozen plains lies another astonishing record. Russia's vast network of pipelines, stretching nearly 260,000 kilometers. If laid in a single line, they could wrap around the Earth more than 6 times. These pipelines carry the lifeblood of the economy, energy that warms homes, powers industries, and fuels entire regions. Each of these records tells a story of endurance, scale, and ambition. Together, they form a portrait of Russia not just as a nation, but as a world of extremes, a land where the impossible becomes reality. Among the great mountains of the world, there is one peak that seems to rise not only above the land, but above time itself. A majestic white crown sitting quietly on the border of Europe and Asia. This is Mount Elbrus, a giant so enduring and so commanding that it has become one of the legendary 7 summits, the 7 highest peaks on each continent that every ambitious mountaineer dreams of conquering. Elbrus is powerful in its silence. It does not roar, it does not erupt, yet its presence is overwhelming. With 2 twin summits, standing almost equal in height, it forms a double throne above the Caucasus Mountains, peaks separated by only about 20 meters in elevation, as if the mountain itself cannot decide which side should rule the sky. The first successful ascent was recorded in 1829, when a small expedition decided to challenge the impossible. Imagine the cold, the wind, the uncertainty of stepping onto pure glacial wilderness, with equipment far less advanced than anything we have today. Their courage carved the first path toward one of the greatest climbing achievements in Europe. Today, technology has made Elbrus more accessible, but never easy. A system of cable cars and lifts now carries climbers up to an altitude of around 3,750 meters, helping them bypass the most exhausting early stages and reach the high mountain camps more quickly. But beyond that point, there are no shortcuts. Only snow, ice, steep slopes, and the endless white horizon stretching toward the sky. At high altitude, the weather on Elbrus can change in a heartbeat. Clear blue skies can turn into blizzards in minutes, hiding the world in swirling snow and freezing wind. Many climbers have described the ascent as a battle not only with nature, but with their own fear and endurance. And yet, those who reach the summit often say the same thing, that standing above the clouds, with Europe at your feet, and the Caucasus Mountains stretching like stone waves to the horizon, feels like touching another world, a world of silence, purity, and limitless space. Elbrus is not just a mountain, it is a rite of passage, a test of will, of spirit, and of the quiet determination that has defined Russia for centuries. In the frozen forests of the Far East, where winter lasts longer than life itself, and silence blankets the land like a thick layer of snow, moves a creature so powerful, so rare, that seeing it even once is considered a blessing. This is the Siberian tiger, the ghost of the northern wilderness, and one of the largest and most magnificent big cats on Earth. Unlike their cousins in warmer climates, Siberian tigers were shaped by ice and endurance. Their bodies are massive, their fur thick and pale, their muscles built for strength, survival, and astonishing speed. On short bursts, a Siberian tiger can reach up to 80 kilometers per hour, a flash of orange and white slicing through the snow with breathtaking precision. But what makes this creature truly extraordinary is not just its size or speed, it is its presence. A Siberian tiger can move silently through forests that humans find almost impossible to navigate. Its paws leave deep prints in the snow, its gaze pierces the winter mist, and every step carries the weight of thousands of years of evolution in one of the harshest environments on the planet. Yet, despite its strength, the Siberian tiger stands on the edge of disappearance. Once roaming across vast regions of northern Asia, today it survives mainly in the far east of Russia, near the icy borders with China and North Korea. Habitat loss, environmental changes, and the challenges of living in areas where human footprints continue to expand have pushed this majestic predator toward a fragile future. Thanks to dedicated conservation efforts, its numbers have slowly begun to recover. Not fast enough to guarantee safety, but enough to offer hope. Protected reserves, constant monitoring, and international cooperation have become the shield that guards this priceless symbol of Russia's northern wilderness. To see one in its natural habitat is to witness a moment that feels almost unreal. A moment where raw power meets delicate beauty, where silence meets motion, and where nature reminds us that even in a world shaped by humans, some spirits remain untamed. The Siberian tiger is more than an animal. It is a living legend, a guardian of the frozen forests, and a reminder that some of Earth's greatest wonders walk quietly, far from the eyes of the world, waiting to be protected, respected, and never forgotten. When you explore a country as vast and mysterious as Russia, you quickly realize that its wonders are not limited to mountains, rivers, or ancient cities. Some of its most fascinating treasures are hidden in the smallest and most unexpected corners of everyday life. And that is exactly where the magic begins. One of the most surprising stories starts in 1984, inside a modest office at the Academy of Sciences in Moscow. Here, a quiet computer scientist created something that would later travel across the world, captivating children, adults, scientists, and gamers alike. His creation was Tetris, a simple game of falling blocks that somehow became one of the most iconic puzzles in human history. No battles, no explosions, just shapes, logic, and the strangely satisfying moment when everything falls perfectly into place. From old handheld consoles to modern smartphones, Tetris has crossed borders, languages, and generations, proving that brilliance does not need noise. Sometimes, it only needs imagination. But Russia's creativity doesn't stop at digital worlds. In the heart of St. Petersburg, within the historic Hermitage Museum, you will find a team of guardians unlike any other. They don't wear uniforms, they don't carry radios, they walk silently, with soft paws and sharp instincts. These guardians are cats, real cats, officially recognized, officially protected, and, in the most charming twist of all, some even have their own identification documents, a passport just for them. For centuries, these cats have lived inside the museum, defending priceless works of art from the one enemy no curator can ever fully eliminate: mice. They patrol underground tunnels, rest in sunlit courtyards, and are fed and cared for by staff. As respected members of the museum family, visitors sometimes catch a glimpse of them, slipping through a doorway, or sitting proudly beside a marble statue, as if they, too, are part of the heritage being preserved. Together, these two stories, a game that conquered the world, and cats that quietly protect a nation's treasures, reveal something deeper about Russia, a place where creativity meets tradition, where seriousness meets humor, and where the unexpected often becomes unforgettable. Because in Russia, even the smallest details carry a story worth telling. When people talk about Russia, they often talk about cold winters, vast landscapes, and cities wrapped in history. But there is one element of Russian culture that has traveled farther than any mountain story, faster than any train across Siberia, and deeper than any legend passed down through generations. That element is vodka. To understand Russia, you have to understand this clear, quiet liquid that has shaped traditions, celebrations, and even survival itself. Vodka appeared in Eastern Europe many centuries ago, but it was around the 14th to 15th century that it truly took root in Russian life, and the name reveals everything. The word vodka comes from voda, which simply means water, a gentle reminder that to many Russians, vodka is not merely a drink, it is something woven into the rhythm of everyday life. For generations, families gathered around tables in the cold months, sharing stories, warmth, and a small glass to toast resilience. It wasn't excessive, it wasn't wild. It was a ritual, a way of saying, we are still here, we endure, we continue. What's importanter, on average, statistics show that each Russian consumes around half a liter of vodka per month, a number that may seem surprising, but becomes more understandable when you think of the harsh winters and the deep-rooted traditions behind each bottle. And then, there is a detail so unusual, it almost feels like a scene from a novel. In certain difficult economic periods, some workers in remote regions of Russia were partially paid in vodka instead of money, not because it was a luxury, but because it was stable, valuable, and widely accepted in local communities, a currency of survival during times when life demanded resilience from everyone. Even beer, something many people see as light and harmless, was not officially considered an alcoholic beverage in Russia until the year 2011. Before that, legally speaking, it belonged to the same category as soft drinks, another reminder of how unique the Russian relationship with beverages truly is. Yet behind all the jokes, all the stereotypes, and all the myths, vodka remains a symbol of something deeper: warmth in the middle of winter, connection in the middle of distance, and identity in the middle of a vast, ever-changing land. A story in a bottle, a tradition in a glass, and a quiet heartbeat of Russian culture that continues to echo across the world. And that is Russia, a land of vast distances, deep history, wild nature, remarkable people, and stories that stretch farther than the horizon itself. If today you feel like you have just gone through a new journey, let me know how you feel. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and share the video, so that I have more motivation to continue telling interesting stories about this vast world. See you on the next journey. Thanks for joining us.